Welcome to United Daily Updates, your #1 source for everything Manchester United. Welcome back everyone, and a massive warm welcome to every single person reading this today. Whether you have been part of the United Daily Updates community for a long time or you are brand new here, you are in exactly the right place. United Daily Updates was built for one reason and one reason only: to give every Manchester United fan on the planet honest, clear, and passionate coverage of this great club every single day. The matches, the training ground updates, the big moments, the stories that matter, the players who make you believe, and the days that remind you why being a Red is one of the greatest things in life. Before we get into today's story, please head over to the United Daily Updates YouTube channel right now and subscribe. Thousands of United fans already trust the channel every single day as their #1 home for everything Manchester United. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and never miss a moment. Because today is a day that feels genuinely electric at Carrington. Key players are back. The tempo is rising. The energy is building. And tomorrow, at Old Trafford, Manchester United play their last home game of the season against Nottingham Forest. And this one carries more weight than a regular end-of-season fixture normally would. Carrington is buzzing. The band is back together. And Old Trafford awaits. There is something about the energy at a training ground the day before a big match that tells you everything you need to know. Not the words. Not the press conferences. Not the statistics or the predictions. The energy. The intensity in the drills. The sharpness of the passing. The noise coming from the pitch. The way players carry themselves when they think nobody is watching. The way they press. The way they compete. The way they push each other to be better, even in a training session that means nothing in the table. The cameras at Carrington today caught something that has United fans feeling very good about tomorrow. And it is not just one thing. It is the combination of everything that has come together on this particular Friday that makes the session look and feel different. Bruno Fernandes controlling the tempo from the first whistle of training. Harry Maguire organizing the defensive line with the kind of authority that only comes from genuine confidence. Lisandro Martinez back and looking absolutely sharp, aggressive in challenges and composed on the ball. Casemiro back in training after missing the Sunderland game, winning duels, breaking up play, bringing that unmistakable leadership energy to the midfield. Matheus Cunha showing quick feet and creativity in tight spaces as only he can. Benjamin Sesko back from the shin injury he aggravated against Liverpool, running powerfully and finishing with that clinical presence that makes him so difficult to deal with. And Brian Bumo buzzing with pace and intensity, making those direct runs and delivering dangerous balls into the box that defenders simply cannot switch off against. That list of names. All of them sharp. All of them intense. All of them ready. And all of it happening the day before what is set to be a very special afternoon at Old Trafford. The last home game of the season. A game that carries an emotional weight and a significance that goes well beyond 3 points. Because tomorrow is not just about Nottingham Forest. Tomorrow is about celebrating everything this team has already done this season. Tomorrow is about the farewell to a player who has given so much to this club. Tomorrow is about the announcement that has just been made that changes the future direction of Manchester United. And tomorrow is about Bruno Fernandes chasing one of the most iconic individual records in Premier League history. Today on United Daily Updates we are going through every single piece of this story. Every player spotted at training. What their return means for tomorrow. What the broader picture around this game looks like. And why this particular Sunday afternoon at Old Trafford feels like one of the most significant ones in a long time. Let us get into every detail. The Carrington session, player by player. Let us go through each player who has been spotted in training today and talk about exactly what their presence and their sharpness means heading into tomorrow. Bruno Fernandes, setting the tone from the start. If you want to know what the mood is at a football club on any given day, watch the captain. And what Bruno Fernandes showed at Carrington today told the whole story immediately. Sharp passing from the very beginning. Constant communication with teammates throughout the session. Non-stop energy that never dropped even as the session went on. This is what Bruno brings every single day. Not just on match day. Not just when the cameras are there. But every single training session, every drill, every practice game. The standards he sets for himself and for everyone around him are relentless. Tomorrow Bruno Fernandes has a record in his sights. He currently has 19 Premier League assists this season. The all-time record for assists in a single top-flight English season is 20, held jointly by Thierry Henry and Kevin De Bruyne, two of the greatest creative players the Premier League has ever seen. One more assist against Nottingham Forest tomorrow ties that record. And knowing Bruno, you can guarantee he will be chasing it with everything he has. He is also the FWA Player of the Year for the 2025-26 season, the first Manchester United player to win that award since Wayne Rooney in 2010. He has 8 goals alongside those 19 assists in the Premier League. He has been the best player in English football this season. And tomorrow, in his last home game of the campaign at Old Trafford, he will have the whole crowd behind him willing that record-equaling assist to happen. The captain is ready. Old Trafford will be electric tomorrow. Harry Maguire, the centre-back with something to prove. Harry Maguire in training was doing what Harry Maguire does when his confidence is high and his mind is right. Organizing, communicating, setting the defensive line, winning his headers, commanding the area around him with an authority that tells you a player is in a good place. Maguire has had a complicated relationship with the United fanbase over the years. The public criticism has at times been harsh and relentless. But what has never been in doubt is his commitment to the cause and his desire to be the player United need him to be. Under Carrick, in a well-organized defensive structure, Maguire has looked much closer to the centre-back United believed they were getting when they paid so much to bring him from Leicester. Tomorrow at Old Trafford, in the last home game of the season with a stadium that will be full and loud and emotional, Maguire will want to produce a commanding performance that sends the fans home happy. That motivation is real. That focus was visible at Carrington today. Lisandro Martinez, the big return. This is one of the most exciting pieces of training news ahead of tomorrow. Lisandro Martinez is back and he is looking absolutely sharp. Martinez missed 3 matches through suspension. And the difference his absence makes to the United defense is genuinely significant. He is not just a good centre-back. He is the type of defender who changes the character and the energy of the whole defensive unit. Aggressive. Intense. Never backing down from a challenge. Winning headers he has no business winning given his height. Bringing that Argentine intensity that gives the whole back for a different edge. When Martinez is playing, United's defense looks like a group that genuinely does not want to concede. When he is absent, there is something missing that is hard to define but very easy to feel when you watch the games. His return alongside Maguire gives United one of their strongest defensive combinations for this final stretch of the season. The way he looked in training today, sharp in challenges and composed with the ball, is exactly the signal United fans needed to see ahead of a match that everyone wants to win convincingly. Casemiro, back and bringing that presence. One of the biggest storylines heading into today's training session was whether Casemiro would be back. He missed last weekend's goalless draw at Sunderland with a minor issue. And with tomorrow being his final home game for Manchester United before his contract expires and he leaves the club, the question of whether he would be fit enough to feature was one that every United fan was asking. The answer that came from Carrington today was a very positive one. Casemiro is back in training. Not just participating. Not just going through the motions. Winning duels. Breaking up play. Bringing that quiet, commanding leadership energy to the midfield that makes the whole team function differently when he is in it. Tomorrow at Old Trafford will almost certainly be Casemiro's farewell. His last game in front of the United faithful after years of service to the club. He arrived at Manchester United from Real Madrid in August 2022 as a 5-time Champions League winner, one of the most respected defensive midfielders in world football. He gave everything to the club through some incredibly difficult periods. He never hid. He never gave less than what he had. And now his time is drawing to a close. The reception he will receive from Old Trafford tomorrow will tell you everything about how this fanbase feels about the effort and the commitment he has shown. And the fact that he is back in training and looking like himself gives him the best possible chance of giving the fans one last proper performance in United colours. What do you want to say to Casemiro before he leaves? Tomorrow might be your last chance to say it. Matheus Cunha, the creative heart. Watch Matheus Cunha in training and you immediately understand why defenders find him so difficult to deal with. Quick feet that change direction in the smallest of spaces. Creative decisions that other players simply would not see. The confidence to take on players and the technique to make it work more often than not. Cunha wears the number 10 for Manchester United. That shirt carries history. Patrick Berbatov wore it. Ruud van Nistelrooy wore it. Wayne Rooney wore it. And now Cunha carries it with the kind of swagger and creativity that the number 10 is supposed to represent. He is not a conventional striker. He drops deep. He links play. He moves into the spaces that defenders struggle to account for. And then suddenly he is in a dangerous position and the crowd is on its feet. His form under Carrick has been very good. He has contributed goals and assists and has been one of the more consistent performers since January. Tomorrow against Forest he will be looking to add to that tally and give the Old Trafford crowd a moment to celebrate. Benjamin Sesko, the major return that changes everything. Now here is the piece of training news that has United fans genuinely buzzing. Benjamin Sesko is back. Sesko aggravated an existing shin injury in the 3-2 win over Liverpool earlier this month. He came off at halftime. He missed the Sunderland game completely. And heading into this week, there were real questions about whether he would be fit enough to feature in these final 2 matches of the season. What the cameras at Carrington showed today answered those questions in the most encouraging way possible. Sesko is back. And not just back going through light work. Back making powerful runs. Back showing sharp finishing. Back with that complete striker presence that makes him such a dangerous focal point for this United attack. Think about the difference Sesko makes to how United play. His physical power allows him to hold the ball up and bring others into the game. His pace in behind stretches defenses and creates space for runners. His finishing when he gets into position is clinical. And his pressing from the front puts defenders under pressure from the very first minute. Without Sesko against Sunderland, United managed 1 shot on target in the whole game. It was a flat, restricted performance where the attack never really found its rhythm. With Sesko back in the team tomorrow, the whole attacking picture changes. Cunha has someone to link with. Bumo has a target to cross to. Bruno has a runner to play through balls for. The whole attacking system is better when Sesko is fit and playing. His return is arguably the biggest piece of team news ahead of tomorrow's game. Bryan Bumo, pace and danger on the wing. Bryan Bumo in training today was everything you would want from a wide forward ahead of a big home game. Direct runs. Fast movement. Dangerous deliveries into the box from wide areas. His pace and his directness when he gets the ball and faces up to defenders is a genuine threat that fullbacks across the Premier League have found very difficult to contain this season. Bumo has been one of the players whose form under Carrick has been particularly impressive. His link-up play with Bruno Fernandes has produced some genuinely exciting moments. His ability to carry the ball forward at speed and then deliver accurate crosses or cut inside onto his stronger foot gives the team variety in their attacking play. Tomorrow at Old Trafford with a full house roaring them on, Bumo will be looking to make something happen and give the crowd a moment to celebrate. His energy and directness in that wide right or left role makes him a constant danger to the opposition. The game itself, why tomorrow carries so much meaning. Now let us talk about the match itself. Manchester United vs Nottingham Forest. Sunday the 17th of May, 2026. Kickoff at 12:30 p.m. Old Trafford. The last home game of the season. Nottingham Forest come into this game having confirmed their Premier League survival. They are safe. The pressure of the relegation battle is behind them. Under manager Vitor Pereira, they have had a season of significant ups and downs. They finished as high as 3rd in the table at one point, threatening to force their way into the Champions League conversation. But injuries and inconsistent results brought them back down to earth, and they ended up in a fight for survival that is now over. Forest have actually had a strong recent away record. They have won their last 3 away matches against Tottenham, Sunderland, and Chelsea, scoring 11 goals and conceding just 1 across those 3 games. That is a very impressive set of away results, and it tells you that this Forest team, even without huge pressure on their own season, can be dangerous on the road. The head-to-head record between these 2 clubs in recent seasons slightly favors Forest in terms of recent results. Forest have gone unbeaten in their last 3 meetings with United. The earlier fixture this season at the City Ground ended in a 2-2 draw. United will want to address that record tomorrow. But here is the thing about tomorrow. United at home under Carrick have been very strong. They have won 83% of their last 6 home games at Old Trafford. The energy and the atmosphere that Old Trafford generates when United are in good form and the crowd is fully behind the team is one of the most intimidating environments in English football. Forest, for all their recent away form, will walk into a stadium where the mood is not just positive but electric. Because tomorrow is not just a football match at Old Trafford. Tomorrow is the last home game of the season. Tomorrow is Casemiro's farewell. Tomorrow is the first home game since Carrick was confirmed as permanent manager. And tomorrow is the day Bruno Fernandes could chase the all-time Premier League assists record with the whole crowd willing every pass and every delivery to turn into that assist. The occasion demands a performance. And the training session at Carrington today suggests the players are absolutely ready to deliver one. The Casemiro farewell, a moment to savor. We cannot talk about tomorrow without giving this its own section. Because the Casemiro farewell at Old Trafford is one of those football moments that transcend sport. Casemiro signed for Manchester United in August 2022. He came from Real Madrid. 5-time Champions League winner. One of the greatest defensive midfielders in the history of the game. United paid enormous money to bring him here and the fanbase received him with enormous excitement. His first season was genuinely impressive. He brought a level of defensive intelligence and leadership to the midfield that United had been missing. He made United harder to beat. He protected the back four. He commanded the space in front of the defense with the authority of someone who had been playing at the highest level of European football for years. There were difficult periods too. Games where the pace of the Premier League seemed to catch up with him. Times when the team around him struggled so much that individual limitations became more visible. But through all of it, Casemiro showed up. He competed. He cared. He never stopped giving what he had. And now his time at Old Trafford is almost over. His contract expires this summer and he will not be extending it. There are reports linking him with a return to Brazil, a homecoming at the end of an extraordinary European career. Tomorrow at Old Trafford will almost certainly be his last appearance in front of the United faithful in a Manchester United shirt. The reception he receives will say everything about how this club and this fanbase treat the players who give their all for the badge, even when things are not always perfect. What kind of reception does Casemiro deserve from Old Trafford tomorrow? The answer should be the loudest and most emotional one any United fan can give. What this week has meant for Manchester United. Let us zoom out for a second and look at the full picture of what this week has been for Manchester United. Because when you put everything together, it is genuinely extraordinary. Fabrizio Romano confirmed on Thursday that Michael Carrick will stay as permanent manager. The contract is either 2 years with an option or directly 3 years. Carrick himself has already said yes. The club confirmed it officially. The man who knows this club better than almost any manager available has been given the keys to take it forward permanently. The most important decision the club has made since Ferguson's retirement has been made with clarity and conviction. And then today, the training session at Carrington shows key players returning. Casemiro back for his farewell. Sesko back from his shin injury. Martinez back from suspension. The full squad coming together at the exact right moment for a home game that everybody wants to send off the Old Trafford campaign in style. Carrington is buzzing. The phrase is not just a headline. It describes exactly what the energy looks like when a football club is genuinely aligned. When the players believe in the manager. When the manager is confirmed as permanent. When the stadium is anticipating something special. When individual stories like Casemiro's farewell and Bruno's record chase give the occasion emotional layers that go far beyond just 3 points. United fans do not need to be told to be excited about tomorrow. They already are. But knowing the full picture, knowing every player who is fit and sharp, knowing what is at stake beyond the scoreline, should make tomorrow feel even bigger. The big questions for the United Daily Updates community. Here are the questions we want every single person in this community to sit with and debate ahead of tomorrow's game. Can Bruno Fernandes get that 20th assist tomorrow against Forest? He needs just one. One pass. One moment of creativity that leads to a goal. That ties the record of Thierry Henry and Kevin De Bruyne. For the FWA Player of the Year, playing in his last home game of the season with the whole stadium behind him, can he produce that moment? How emotional will the Casemiro farewell be? And what do you want to say to him? He gave everything he had to Manchester United across 3 seasons. He played through difficult periods with pride and commitment. And now he is about to play his last game in front of the fans who cheered for him from the very beginning. How do you want Old Trafford to send him off? With Sesko and Martinez both back, does this feel like a Manchester United team that can end the season strongly with 2 convincing wins? Not just scraping through, but actually performing and scoring and sending the campaign off in a way that builds real momentum going into next season? And with Carrick now confirmed as permanent manager, does tomorrow feel like the first game of a new era rather than the last game of the current season? A celebration not just of this campaign, but of what is coming next. Drop your answers in the comments. This is the community that understands United better than anyone. We want to hear every opinion. Final thoughts. Carrington has spoken. Old Trafford awaits. Carrington was buzzing today. Bruno was sharp and intense from the first minute. Maguire was commanding. Martinez was aggressive and composed and back to his very best. Casemiro was winning duels and bringing leadership back to the midfield. Cunha was showing those quick feet and that creativity that defenders hate. Sesko was powerful and clinical and clearly ready. And Bumo was electric with pace and directness on the wing. This is a Manchester United squad that is fit, motivated, and ready. Tomorrow at Old Trafford against Nottingham Forest is not just another end-of-season game. It is a celebration. A farewell to Casemiro. A chase for history by Bruno Fernandes. The first home game under the confirmed permanent manager Michael Carrick. And a chance for a United team that has had one of the best second halves of a season this club has experienced in years to finish at Old Trafford in style. The players are ready. The manager is confirmed. The stadium will be full. And every single United fan will be there in spirit, whether in the ground or watching at home or following every update on their phone. United Daily Updates will be here covering every moment of tomorrow's game and everything that follows. The reaction, the analysis, the community debate, and all the transfer and pre-season news that will start to build in the days after the final whistle. Thank you so much for following up today's blog. If this has built your excitement for tomorrow's game, please share it with every United fan you know and let the anticipation build together. And for all the daily United content you could ever want, delivered honestly and passionately every single day, please head over to the United Daily Updates YouTube channel right now. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Join the family. And be part of the last home game of the season together. Tomorrow. Old Trafford. Michael Carrick's confirmed era begins at home. Let us make it one to remember. Glory, glory, Manchester United.